Ruskin here, and today we're talking about Rampage, which is a classic fucking arcade game from 1986. Yeah, it's an awesome game where you can play as giant monsters that smash up the fucking city. Yeah. Why are we talking about it? Well, because there's a new movie coming out starring The Rock. Yeah, based on the fucking classic arcade game. Yeah, which is about giant fucking monsters smash up the fucking city. Hell yeah. Now in the video game, you know, you can play as one of three different monsters. There's like a gorilla, like King Kong, right? But not. And there's a giant lizard, like fucking Godzilla, but not quite. And a giant fucking dog, which is like, I don't know why there's a giant wolf dog thing or whatever, but yeah. So whether you're playing as the giant gorilla, or the giant lizard, or the giant fucking dog, it's a fucking badass game where you just run around and smash shit. That's the name of the game. You're supposed to smash up these fucking buildings, climb them, punch them, and knock them down. And then once you knock down all the buildings, move on to the next fucking level. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
These are the original steel joysticks. They were using these also on Gyrus and Time Pilot. All metal, and boy, are they terrific.
Yeah, I love the fucking arcade machine. It's a beautiful fucking machine. It's great.
Really nice. Great sound, too. People seem to like this game quite a bit.
Yeah. And that game was actually ported to, like, all the major systems at the time, you know. Atari, Nintendo, Commodore 64. But the best version of the game for the home system was for the Sega Master System. Yeah. No doubt, the Sega Master System was the best version of the game. Right? The graphics were perfect. The gameplay was great. It's a really good version of the game. Hell yeah. And I got that version of the game on my Sega Master System. Hell yeah. Now the version on the Nintendo, you know, the 8-bit Nintendo, is not quite as good as the Master System version, but it's still fine. Still plays just fine, even if the graphics aren't quite as good as the Sega Master System version. Still pretty good. You know. Then there was a version on the Atari 7800. And that version's pretty good, you know. Not quite as good as the Sega Master System version, but it still plays pretty well, you know. But the funny thing about that is that the Atari 7800 was backwards compatible to the 2600. Well, I mean, if you play the 2600 version, the graphics are really fucking bad. I mean, like, wow. I mean, shit, look at that. It's so weird. The pixels are so fucking huge. And the buildings are just represented like... fucking crazy. When you punch parts of the building, they just fucking disappear. It's so fucking bad. I mean, the game was also available on the Atari Lynx, the Commodore 64, and the ZX Spectrum. And the ZX Spectrum will look really weird, you know? Like, look at this. Look at that weird rainbow-colored graphics. I mean, that's pretty standard for, like, ZX Spectrum games, but it's so weird. But yeah, like I said, the best version of fucking Rampage on the home system is on the Sega Master System. Because it just looks great, and sounds great, and plays great too. Then like fucking 10 years later, in 1997, they released a sequel to Rampage in the arcade. Rampage World Tour, which is a fucking awesome machine. And very much a great fucking sequel. In fact, they got it at Galloping Ghost. Yeah, check it out. There's the Rampage World Tour machine. Fucking awesome. Hell yeah. Now, that game was released on all the major systems of the day. The Sega Saturn, the PlayStation, and the Nintendo 64. Right? Yeah, the Nintendo 64 was the version I had. It's a great 3-player game. Well, especially for the Nintendo 64, which is a great 4-player system. World Tour is pretty awesome. Plays a lot like the original fucking Rampage. Just run around and fucking bash up buildings. Gotta destroy all the buildings in order to move on to the next fucking city. And the graphics are awesome. They're fucking great. You know? I mean, it's a simple game, but it's a very satisfying game. Bashing up buildings. It's so much fucking fun.
Dude, get up here. Get up here. Get your ass up here. What are you doing?
Shut up, dude. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I don't want to play this fucking game. This is stupid. I hate this game.
You just suck, dude. That's your problem. You just suck.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
Oh, I'm dead too. Fuck.
Then they made a sequel to that game called Rampage World Tour 2, Universal Tour, or Rampage 2, Universal Tour, whatever. But I don't know why they called it Rampage 2, because really, Rampage World Tour is Rampage 2. So this game, Universal Tour, should be Rampage 3, right? Because it's the third Rampage game. It just makes sense, but well, for whatever reason, they call it Rampage 2. And this game was only released on the PlayStation, Nintendo 64. No Sega Saturn version of World Tour 2, you know, or Rampage 3. It should be called Rampage 3, you know. But, you know, it's a pretty fucking awesome game, you know. I fucking like it. Then they made a fucking sequel to that called Rampage Through Time. And it's pretty cool because you can actually go to different time periods. And there's a lot of different buildings, you know, because they're traveling through time and shit. Plus there's different questions to play. And it's a pretty cool game, but it only came out on the PlayStation, right? And it's the only system it was released for. And there's no arcade version of Rampage Through Time.
Ah, hey! Get off of me, man. I'm gonna kill this giant spider here. Fucking giant spider. There, you got it. Yeah.
But still, it's a pretty cool game. And I guess this one is Rampage 4, right? Rampage 4? Then a few years later, they made Rampage Total Destruction, which is technically Rampage 5, you know. But, you know, it was released on the PlayStation 2, so it has even better graphics than the previous games. And, oh yeah, it does. It's actually a really awesome fucking badass fucking game. You smash up buildings, and there's actually a whole bunch of monsters to play as. You know, the classic fucking, you know, gorilla, or the fucking lizard, or the fucking wolf dog thing, you know. But, you know, you can also play as a bunch of other fucking monsters. I mean, there's so many monsters that you can play as. Like this bull thing, it's like a fish monster, whatever the fuck that thing is. There's just so many fucking monsters. I mean, why? Why were there so many monsters in this game? Shit, that's crazy. Shit, like a... What the fuck is that? Well, there's a lot of monsters. So many monsters to play as. And it really is a really awesome game. Hell yeah. You can destroy all kinds of shit. And the wonderful thing about these games are the little things you find while you're bashing up fucking buildings, you know. The people that are in the fucking buildings. And little stuff running around. It's really cool. Yeah, and that's it. They made like 5 Rampage games. That's it. You know, I haven't made a Rampage game since then. Which is weird that they're making a new fucking movie starring The Rock, right? It's kind of crazy that they're making a fucking movie based on a video game that doesn't even have a video game out. Maybe they're gonna make a brand new fucking Rampage video game based on the Rampage movie. I'd love that. That would be fucking awesome. Hell yeah. You know. I mean, because it's a little bit different than the fucking video game. The story in the movie is that, you know, The Rock has this pet gorilla, which is already really big, but then this thing falls out of the sky, and, like, the gorilla starts to grow right? Starts to get bigger, you know. And then goes on a rampage and starts smashing shit in the fucking city. Actually, that's not just any city, that's fucking Chicago. Yeah! I also like the fact that they're smashing pumpkins in the fucking soundtrack. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Yeah. But well, like I say, the story's a little bit different because, you know, he started off as a gorilla, he just turns into a really big gorilla. In the video game, you're supposed to be actually people that were transformed into monsters. And when you die, your guy like shrinks down, turns back into a person, right? Yeah. But who cares about that? As long as there's giant fucking monsters smashing up the city, I'm in fucking favor of that, right? As a fan of Godzilla and King Kong and shit. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But I don't know, what do you guys fucking think? Write me a comment down below. And until fucking next time, keep it fucking real.
Rampage has an interesting option. Listen, you push the punch button. Push the punch button. Party time. Listen, Rampage has an interesting option. Push the punch button. Party time. Rampage. Wait a minute.
Lots of work. Okay.